How is everyone today? This week has been a very busy week, so I'll just kind of dive right in what's happening. So, as many of you know, Sizzle rapidly declined. I saw that happening over the weekend, and I know we talked about it on Monday's mail call, but I wanted to reiterate what happened. So over the weekend, she was looking rather spry last week, but Friday she kind of shut down a little bit. By Saturday she was looking dehydrated. Sunday I put her out on Sunday night, as I normally do. She normally doesn't even like to get up and go out, but she went outside and she ran away and hid. So it took me a while to find her in the dark, and I brought her back in. She wasn't looking good. Talked to my mom about it. She's like, well, you know, she's already been to the vet. We know what's wrong with her. She's on borrowed time, so let's just see how she is. And then at 5 o'clock in the morning, my mother started yelling for me to get down there. Of course, I'm sleeping because that's what I do at 5 o'clock in the morning. And ran down there, and Sizzle was not well. Like, she couldn't stand up. So it took me a while to get the car and got Justin out of bed. Helped get Sizzle in the car, brought her to the vet, and we had her euthanized. So we put her in the backside of the pond, and I dug the hole with the tractor. Never done that before. As many of you know, I'm not so great on the tractor either. I've never been the one that's dug a hole before, and I don't like to be around animals that are dying. Oh, but the one thing is very true, and I've always said that is half dead is terrible. When they're dead, it's a relief. So, so it's always very, very stressful when something's in pain and suffering, but it's peaceful when they're gone. So we dug a hole, and I dug a hole, and Justin and Isaiah, who I call Camper Kid, Isaiah helped get her into the hole. We wrapped her in a nice little blanket, and she's over by the pond. So that was all good. Many funny stories came out of that. One was that we put, because we also have, we have a pretty busy week on, was it Monday? We had, where were we on Monday? I can never remember these things. Monday, did we have we had a job on Monday. I can't remember where it was. And I still wanted to make the job. Even though, because I know that when we have a job, we have, there's usually between 20 and 60 people that are been rolled out to an activities room, and they're I know where it was, very excited about us coming. So I didn't want to not show up, and it was a little short notice, so we scrambled to get everything done. But what we decided was, by the time we got back from the vet, it was, I want to say it was 9:30. Had to quickly feed the horses. The good news is the job on Monday was over in Ipswich at a place we go once or twice a year. It's a very nice retirement home for memory care. And we brought Delight and the pig, goats, and do we bring Larky? No, we brought Mandy. But it was I was a little bit off because it was, we had I had, when I went to bed on Sunday night, I'm like, okay, we're going to bring Larky, we're going to bring the pig, we're going to do this. At the last minute, I decided to bring the goats, and that was a little bit, the goats are a lot. So, and it was just Justin and I. So, it was at Riverbend in Ipswich. And it was just Justin and I. So it was a little bit chaotic. And I told this story on Monday, but boy, I'll tell it quickly again, just because this is Goldy, Goldy, which is the ghost of the left-hand drawer in action. So it's a chaotic day, and I walked behind, and we got everything loaded. I needed to get some help loading because Justin had Mandy, and Mandy, there's these things that you don't, Mandy scares the goats, and the goats actually want to fight with Mandy, so Justin can't help me load anything, and I have to have the back ramp down because that's how you load the pig, but the goats and the pony load in the side. But so I loaded, I just was off. So I loaded the pony and the goats in the side, and then I put the back ramp down, which meant that everything wanted to come out because there's nothing holding them in other than the back ramp. So I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? So I went and got this receptionist, who was a nice gentleman. He came out, a young guy, and he's never walked a pig before. So he took all these selfies. I took a video of him, and I'm like, okay, now we're going to load. So your job is I'm going to hold the goats back, and you're going to put the pig in the cage. So the guy's like, he's wearing really nice shoes, and he's got his game on. And so as he gets the pig up there, and I'm holding an empty, pretty much an empty bag of horse treats in my hand, and the pony and the goats are rushing the back end of the trailer, and I'm trying to hold them on. So I took the bag of half-empty horse treats, and I just threw it into the front of the trailer so that goats turned to go eat the bag. That gave us enough time to get Percy in his, I call it his house, in a crate, get the door shut, get the ramp up, we're good to go. And then, as many of you know, I always have the strings on the side to hold the doors because everything's loose inside the trailer and the doors can fly open. So as I pulled out of the parking lot, I noticed that but the doors on the side, they work. I just always, it's an extra security that if a door ever flew open, we're not going to lose a goat on the side of the road. But as I pulled out, I realized I hadn't locked one side of the rope. So I pull over on a very, very busy road where cars are going. There was just enough room to slide into the side so I could jump out. And as I looked in my rearview mirror, I stopped, put my hazards on, looked in the rearview mirror just as the door swung open, and out the side door, which is my worst fear ever, the goat jumped out of the side of the trailer as cars are going on the other side. And if that goat had run forward, it would have been hit by a car going the other side. But it didn't run forward because it had the bag of horse treats over his head. So literally it was over the goat's head, so it couldn't see anything. That's why it just stood still. So I ran out, grabbed the goat, just as the other goat's about to jump out, threw all the goats back in the door, shut it, tied it, and off we went. And it just brings to mind that we are so close from, what we do is so incredibly beneficial to so many people, and they get so much pleasure out of meeting all these animals, but it's always a little bit close to the Channel 4 news. Channel 4 News would love to have a story about a goat that was just at a nursing home getting hit by a car on 1A in Ipswich. But fortunately, it didn't happen because I feel like Goldy's got us covered. The ghost of the left-hand drawer got us covered. So on we went. And then on Tuesday, loaded up the goats. And remember, on Saturday, I purpled the pony, so she's the purple pony. She has a purple mane and tail, and we had Delight, the goats, and Mandy. We're leaving Larky. We didn't want to bring because he's keeping my mother company, and so we brought Mandy and Wanda. Wanda is always such a big hit, and we did literally. There's 200 very handicapped children under the age of 8. There's 2 different locations. One that has everybody under the age of 18, and there's about 200 in that one. And then there's another one that's right down the street that's over the age of 18. Wanda is at the door barking. Hold on a second. Wanda's interrupting. Wait a minute. Wanda. Okay. If I don't go open the door for Wanda, she'll just sit there and bark the entire time. That's the way she is. Okay, again, talking about the Channel 4 News. You know how everybody, so we're in the parking lot, and they're bringing groups of children. There's 5 groups of children, and there's about 20 in each group. And each kid has a number, each kid has... I would say that every group came out with at least 5 handlers for these very handicapped children. Some were in wheelchairs, some were just autistic, some were on the spectrum. kids that would kind of grab, you got to be on guard the whole time because they grab things like ears of the pony or try to hug them, try to climb on, they start to chase the goat. It was just very chaotic. And we're in a parking lot that's surrounded by we've been there many times before. It's probably my third year being there. We go there a couple times in the summer and they bring the kids outside. It's on a very, very busy road it's on Route 16 in Chelsea, which is right outside of Boston. So it's very, it's a very, it's a city. It's a city place. But the fence that's there that surrounds the parking lot is this wide. And Wanda, as you know, is this wide. And Wanda's very dog aggressive. And so we're getting all set up and first group of kids come out and it's complete chaos because, these kids are, it's chaos. It's chaos. And even Justin was like, whoa, we were driving home and he's like, that was a lot. Because they're, it's really sad. It's a sad group of kids, but they're also very, very excited. They're very handicapped, but they're very excited to see all the animals. You want to make sure that you have enough time. Each group has a half an hour. We're there for 2 hours. So you want to they come out with 20 kids and you want to make sure the kids all safely interact with the group of animals that we have in that half an hour period, including Wanda. And at one point, I think it was the first group that came out too. All this chaos is happening. The kids are jumping in there. Everybody's doing their thing. And I look out and there's someone walking along the back of the fence on the street with a Great Dane. It looked like one of those, regular service dog project. It was a big, gigantic Great Dane. And Wanda took off. Just as took off towards the fence. And I know she could probably squeeze through that fence. And I always say that I think Wanda's, as she's gotten older, I think she's gotten deaf. But she's not deaf at all. She's just learned to ignore me. And just as she went to squeeze through that fence and go attack the Great Dane on the side of this very, very busy road, which would have been complete chaos, I grabbed her foot. I dropped the pony, dropped everything, leaped across all of these kids, grabbed the foot of Wanda, and did not save the day. So then the rest of the time, Wanda had to either be on a leash or everybody was watching Wanda. And I kept watching to make sure that nobody else was walking dogs along that. Mandy wouldn't care. But so that was Tuesday. And then came back, quick turnaround, because we saw so many kids that not only did I want Justin to have the afternoon off because it was so chaotic, but we had to switch animals. And we had to be at the nun, at the Notre Dame Sisters. It's a retirement home in Ipswich for nuns, and they're the cutest, nicest people. So we had to come home, unload all of those animals, put new animals on. We brought Piggy, the Magnus, and Larky, my mother, and Isaiah, and I went. And we had a nice, they always are sitting outside in a nice circle. It is beautiful. It used to be an old nunnery, I think. I don't know if they still use the nunnery part, but the downstairs is a in residence for retired and senior nuns. And so we had a really nice visit there. And then it's been raining a lot too, which is another complication. Today, we went to, that's today. What did I do this morning? So this morning I started with, Carlene had a doctor's appointment at Leahy. That's right, we did Rockport. At Leahy, which is in Danvers at 8 o'clock. So I had to get up early, start feeding, get my mother to a doctor's appointment. And then I left her at Leahy with Larky. I figured she could sit with a handful of monkey fists and Larky in her and I put her in a wheelchair, and she had a doctor's appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning and then another at 11. And that gave me enough time to run home, feed all the animals here. Justin helped me load up all the animals, and we brought them up to, it was Christmas in July party at Oceanside in Rockport, and we had such a great day. But okay, so here's another thing. I've mentioned that we've been having baby chicks. because, you know, we've got Chanel and Coco. I don't know what you call those, the chickens. I'm always moving in so many different directions. Most of the time I just have little nicknames for everything. And so I call them Coco and Chanel, but the two chickens that I had in Aiken, and also the big fluffy one, which I call Big Girl, but I'm sure the big fluffy black chicken. So Elizabeth, Elizabeth's tough. She came down here with a rooster, and I said, no roosters down here. We got chickens down here. I don't want to have any babies. She said, no, this is an old rooster. He doesn't make babies. Well, she was wrong, because we now have 4 babies. So the 4 babies that are about a week old, because we've had such it's Thelma and Louise. That's it. Thelma and Louise, the white chicken. And then I think they're silkies. One of them's got a fluffy top. And so Thelma and Louise have now had baby chicks, and it was really challenging because I don't know if you guys watch the camera. The camera's over in the corner. The camera's over in one corner. The Thelma and Louise are over at the other by the box. I can move that box, but that's where they like to lay eggs. But Sally has now gotten into the action, and so you guys probably don't see it because it's they tuck themselves way into the corner, but it's quite funny that all 3 of them are now fighting over this. It's a big stall. They could lay eggs anywhere, but they seem to only want to lay eggs in the corner, and sometimes all the eggs get mixed up. So we have little chicken eggs that are about this big. They're that big, and then we have Sally eggs that are this big, all in the same pile of eggs every day. And they all fight for it. So some days you go there and Sally's on the bottom and the 2 chickens are sitting on top of Sally, like they're all sitting on the eggs. Other times I go in there and it's hot here, so, and then you have the 2 chickens that are actually underneath of Sally. So it's 2 chickens and Sally all in that same little corner. It's a big stall, guys, spread out. So all 3 of them have been sitting on eggs, which have now produced these 4 baby chickens. And as each one came out, I gave them to Elizabeth because I think she's got chickens up there too. So up at the main house, there's chickens up there. So so I took the 4 chickens this morning because my car's been using for the jobs. It's always problems on top of problems, but my pickup truck is attached to the dump trailer that needs to go and get emptied. But the dump, I've been so busy, I haven't been able to get down there. So as a backup, I had to use, I've got a black Armada that I keep down south. And I call it my princess car because I don't want it to turn into a smelly Goldy's farm car, which it happens if you got in my mother's car, the smell in that car is, I don't even know. It's not just complete. It smells doggy, just dirty. I've cleaned it out a million times. It just always smells very distinctly like my mother's car. And then my truck is now starting to smell very doggy and it's filthy. Like I don't care. I just throw dogs in there. I pick up chickens, whatever needs to get in that car. So it's filthy. I don't want my car to turn into that. With like you get in the black car or my pickup truck, and like the headrest is covered with dog spit. All right. So, but when I get in those cars, I expect it to be that dirty. But because of necessity, I've been using my black Armada for jobs all week. And but my Armada driving home was making a funny noise. So last night I had to bring that down to get looked at. This morning I'm down to the red car, and I was planning to take the red car, Mandy and Larky and the bunny and Wanda up to this thing in Rockport. But then, then everything got turned around and Carlene's like, I want Larky today. You can't take Larky. And so then I came up with the idea, I could take the chickens. So I called Elizabeth on the way home, of course, got her out of bed. And she gave me the 4 baby chicks, and boy, what a hit. You should go out to see they're perfect age too, because they're a week old, so they're very hardy. I don't like to take them under a week old because they're delicate little flowers. But I brought all 4 of them to Rockport today, and they were such a hit because the seniors can actually hold them if they're very gentle, and the staff. I mean, I got in the day. I rolled in the door, and the activity room is to the side. I couldn't even get into the activity room. I was surrounded by staff, like, oh my God, baby chickens! And so we had such a great morning with the baby chickens, and our Kipley, one of our volunteers, she lives over in Hamilton. She comes and joins us sometimes. So that was really nice. We had a really nice visit today up in Rockport. Tomorrow we got, I think it's Sunrise, and this is a memory game for me. Sunrise in Danvers or Peabody. I know where it is. That's a good group of people. And the thing about Sunrise is, I always think that there was one time in Sunrise I lost, the chicken flew out of the little carriage that we had one time. And again, close to being the Channel 4 News, I'm running around the parking lot chasing after a chicken. I did, and the staff ended up having to help me, but we got the chicken. That happened in Aiken one time too. And then on Friday we got Rainbow, and then it'll be weekend. Yay. So very excited about that. It's a very busy week. It's a busy time. I guess it's good that we're busy. Well, no, yeah, it's good that we're busy. That's what our mission is, to be busy. So we definitely have achieved that. And so that's all that's going on. Let me go through some of your questions that I've seen going through. Yes, we do have a male turkey, but the male turkey is across the way with the other turkey, and we've never had chicken babies there, turkey babies. Didn't even think we could. I never see them doing anything bad. I never even saw this old rooster doing anything bad. So I would have separated them if I saw any sexy stuff going on in the cameras. You know how I am about that. No sex on the cameras. So I would have moved that rooster. He's still out there because I tried to move him, but I can't catch him. And so what I'm doing every morning, I've decided is I don't even know how long chicken eggs need to. How long do chickens? This is a good question for you all. How long does it take for a little chicken egg to hatch? So, but every morning I've been taking the eggs and throwing them and getting them out of there right away, because I don't want babies until we get this turkey. It's going to take at least Elizabeth and I to catch the rooster. So I throw them out every day. So and break them, so we're not making babies. But the turkey that's over across the way with the male turkeys with Blossom and Petal, and he doesn't, as someone just commented there, he doesn't get along with Sally, so they need to be separated. But I've never seen that boy turkey doing anything naughty to the girl turkey. So 21 days. So we're good. So 21 days. So I feel like we're pro-choice, I guess, here at Massachusetts, because I grab those eggs every day and throw them into the manure pile and make sure they crack open so that we don't have any more babies. Because 4 baby chickens is, I don't know how long the next question is, how long do chickens live? Because less is more. But the good news is, by the time I'm going to keep using these chickens, and they're going to be well-handled chickens for the program. So that's good, because yes, we do still have those foxes we now are up to 4 foxes. I saw 4 foxes out playing around in the way back by the Tanner barn, and I think that those foxes are pretty invasive. They go into the arena, they're all around, and the donkeys do nothing. The donkeys are like, hey dude. And you would think that they'd want to chase the foxes away, but they don't. Although Dimitri was my only hope, because if Dimitri gets out with the goats again, he he will go after those goats. All the rest of the donkeys like the goats, but Dimitri, and Dimitri's a young, very athletic donkey, more athletic than I am, because he goes after the goats. And I thought he got in with Petal and Blossom, the two best goats, the two nice goats, the ones that don't jump all over you. And he got in with them, and he was chasing them. Blossom went one way. He was so close to killing Petal, or is it Blossom? I don't know which is the mother. I intervened, fortunately, and he turned away, and he looped back around and tried to kill her again. And it took me a while to get him separated. And I'm huffing and puffing, and I'm too old to be chasing donkeys around. Now, let me tell you, at that speed, I don't move that fast unless people always say that, there was somebody that said to me one time, a couple weeks ago, I was walking across the parking lot. Some stranger said, "You look like a runner." And because I walk with a stride because I got places to be. And I said, well, I'm only running if something is chasing me. Or I should add to that, if something's about to kill something else. So I can run pretty fast when Dimitri's after the goats. But then I couldn't even find Petal. The other one, the baby, I thought for sure, I'm like, because I didn't even know that he had gotten in with them when it happened. And I couldn't find her anyways. But then I did find her. Somehow she managed to be on the other side of the pen, up by the murder goats, the terrible goats with the horns. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens here on the farm. But I did put a wire across the top of the area where the donkey cam is, and you see all those miscellaneous, the rabbits are out with the chickens and Sally. So hopefully the foxes can't climb up and get in there. I do worry about it a lot. So, okay, chickens can live anywhere from 5 to 15 years, usually about 8. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a long time so another 5 to 15 years. I think 15 years from now, I'm going to put him in the will to my son. He's already really upset with me because he's going to get a bunch of donkeys. Dimitri's 3, and he's going to outlive me because donkeys can live to be at least 40. So, yeah, my son's not going to be happy about that. But anyways, I'll be dead. What am I worried about? So I'm worried about the foxes. Foxes are definitely around. And but I put a second wire so that surrounding that area is about 6 feet tall. So if those foxes can jump that high, then but they haven't. That's been up. And there's also, if you look, I've got a net covering where the chickens are. So they'd really, I'd be surprised if they got in there, but it would be a disaster if they did. And hopefully there's enough people here that have my telephone number or Elizabeth's to contact. If you see the fox in with the chickens at all, any fox in there, make sure you call us. I know that Cloud has my numbers, and I'm perfectly happy to text me, call me, whatever. If there's foxes in there, I will get out of bed and I'll get in there and I will do the fight with, Elizabeth got in the fight with the fox. I think it was a fox. Yeah, it was a fox. They got into her chicken thing, up at her chicken house up in, she lives in the main house. And the fox is also what got the rabbit. So those foxes are tough. Yeah. Someone's asking, how is Colby? Colby is good. He is all grown up. He's 26 years old. He's about 6'3", 6'4". He's graduated in engineering. He's all I can say is he's got a great career, and he doesn't need my help financially at all, which is great. He's got a girlfriend, which I don't know how he scored this girl. She's beautiful. She's really sweet. She's a nurse, well employed. They're very happy together. So I couldn't be happier about that. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is puppies and the lack. So immediately Carlene is now on puppies. You knew this was going to come, that without Sizzle, she's on to puppies. And I said flat out no. And now she's really mad at me because I said no on the puppies, but a puppy. It's just no puppies. No. Mandy's doing fantastic in the program. Larky's great. It would be nice to have another dog, but yeah, that would put us all right over the edge. So no. Carlene's not happy about it. And I just wanted to say why she wants puppies all the time. It's not because she wants a puppy. She's the challenge we have with Carlene, and the challenge we all have with ourselves, is as we age, we don't want to give up stuff. And she doesn't want to give up the fact that she is not in full control of everything that happens on Goldy's farm. She doesn't want to give up full control over the training of the animals on the farm, but she is not capable, unfortunately. You see her walking. We all are here to help her. And Goldy's farm is something that we try to pull her in as much as we can, but bringing her to the jobs, we got to bring a wheelchair, we got to watch her. Sometimes she falls asleep at the jobs, but we still try to include her as much as we can and make her feel like she's part of the organization, and make her feel like she's training the animals and giving us, we try to listen to her suggestions on how to train the pig and the dogs and everything else, but she can't physically train a puppy. And that we've been through 5 puppies because she just gets very adamant that we bring puppies in for her to train, and she's very sad without puppies, and she feels like puppies are the future and the hope. And I also have to say that given the number of, this is a fact, so given the number of dogs that have been put out by the current management team at the Service Dog Project, they're mostly going out as PTSD dogs for people with for dogs for people. I don't see a lot of dogs going out for balance. And the pictures they post and the dogs that I've seen go out, they're going out as PTSD dogs. I have not seen anyone who's been able to train dogs for balance the way that Carlene White has. She trained 10 to 20 dogs a year, went out to people that were, they couldn't stand up without the help of the dog. They couldn't walk without the help of the dog. You look at Bella, you look at Hunter, you look at, there's a number of people that have examples that that those dogs worked, including Larky. He still was there, able to work. He takes that vest seriously. I've not seen anyone that a dog that she is the only person that I've seen in this country where I've seen balanced dogs to train a working balanced dog. And I think Megan's a great trainer. I just haven't seen any of the dogs that she's had that have gone to people that are in a wheelchair and then not in a wheelchair. But Carlene White, she can do it, but she's not physically capable of doing it at this point. Megan is a good she is a good trainer. She's got all the right tools that she learned from Carlene, all the unique methods that Carlene came up with on how to train these balanced dogs works. The difference is, the new service dog team that took over didn't want to do any of the same things, like feeding them out of spoons. And from my experience with animals, growing up with them all my life, is that the people that feed them are the people that have the attention of those animals. I feed all of these animals here, and although they misbehave all the time, but at the same time, they do behave for me. If I really am adamant about it, they pull it together because I feed them, and they know that I'm the pathway to their dinner. So it makes a big difference when you bond with an animal at a very early age. And training the service dog project, I got to be careful what I say because we're still in the lawsuit. We're still getting sued by them. We're the defendants. But it is a fact that they became an organization that was 9 to 5. It was like 7 to 5 or 6, whenever it was. Training dogs is 24 hours a day. And, the last 2 years that they were on our property, they got rid of the night staff. And it was just, everybody left. Everybody got here at 7:30 in the morning. They left by 6 o'clock. The dogs were fed and gone. And they didn't have that that integration of dogs that is necessary. If anybody knows anything about training any kind of animal, every time you handle that animal, you're training that animal, and training has to happen every single day. So, and I try to, like, even the animals that we use for Goldy's farm, it's not a huge ask for them. They go into nursing homes, they get cuddled by people. They don't have to, they just have to be 100% on board with no fear in them, and always friendly and loving animals. So that's the one thing they can't have. They don't have to do anything. They just have to not have any aggression, not a single bone of aggression in them. For example, like Mandy, when the first time I met her, I knew she was going to be good for the program, because I can just feel her insides are just full of a very happy, affectionate dog. And Wanda's the same way. She would never bite anyone. Larky's the same way. He loves people. They can be aggressive to other dogs because we can keep them away from other dogs. But, you know, it was a good testament to when we were there on yesterday, with 100 children surrounding Delight. Like, not 100. There was 20 kids surrounding Delight, very excited. And I'm the only person that, like, I'm trying to coordinate everything. But Delight would never, because she is an Amish broke pony. I told her to hoe. She was a little nervous with some of the kids that had, you know, like jerky motions and were making loud noises. She just stood there. I knew she wasn't going to do anything. So, it's different. The training. I couldn't possibly figure out how to train a dog to do the extreme measures that Larky is trained to do with helping a dog every day. But it's not. I think that, like, Bella's got the equation, because it's every day. That's what you got to do every day, not and 24 hours a day to get the dogs trained. So we just don't have even though we're only looking for a dog to be a companion dog to my mother. You look at, we're trying to keep our staff skeleton crew, to keep our numbers down to survive. So I don't have the time. Justin doesn't have the time. Camper Kid, Isaiah doesn't have the time. And so there's going to be no puppy. The only thing I did suggest is that Michael and Fred, my very close friends, I call Michael my hunt husband, but Michael and Fred are husband, and they're my friends from down in Aiken. They were very instrumental in training Percy. They have perfectly trained, great dogs themselves. They're really good dog trainers, although, you know, Michael's, but they both have big, you know, they have a big farm, and they're just really, really good, kind people to the animals, and their animals are all very well capable of going into nursing homes. They wanted to get another dog. They wanted a purebred dog from Europe, but as you know, with the new laws in Europe, they have to be 6 months old in order to be imported. So what they did is they found a breeder of these very specialized dogs in Europe, and then they had that breeder, they selected a puppy, and the breeder did 6 months of training, so that when because they had to keep it over there, both of them are, like, they trained a pig to be better. They got a pig, and they've trained their own pig too. So, so they got a puppy. It stayed over in Europe for 6 months. And it was in training in 6 months. So 6 months later, they got a perfectly trained puppy that's 6 months old. And I'm sure, I haven't met the puppy yet, but I'm sure when we all reconvene down in Aiken this winter, I'll be able to use that dog as well, because they have Violet and Ivy, and they also got a pig. It's the cutest little thing called Scarlet. I should share some pictures of that pig. It's almost as cute as Percy, but yeah. So that's the only thing I agreed to. She didn't like the idea though, because she likes to train her own puppy. Because she's worried that she needs to do the spoon feeding of the puppy, but we're not training if we get another puppy, it would be as a dog that's going to go out to nursing homes, not going to be a balanced dog. So that might work. But yeah, she didn't like the idea. So that's where we're at. That's all I got. Let's see. Two males. Oh yeah, we don't want to, Larky is definitely in charge. Larky will not, he will not get along with other dogs, other male dogs. He's very, he's very protective of the farm and Carlene, so he would not like a boy. But he loves Mandy. They get along great. Percy is doing great. He's much different. I can actually let him loose and be out. He doesn't want to, because remember, I don't want any sex on camera. But before, when he was going out with the horses and the donkeys and stuff, he's getting a little naughty with them. And now he seems to have lost that interest. That's one big thing I've noticed. He's doing really well. He's not aggressive at all. Like he was acting like an angry teenage boy a lot of times when he didn't get his way. And he's always been great on jobs. And he was great for he went to the nun job and he was great there. So he's always been good there, but he's much different around the farm, and I can let him loose. I don't have to worry about him. The biggest thing I have to worry about is the fact that he did go up to Elizabeth's and Nick's house in the main house and found some food. So he's always going up there looking for more food because, after all, he's a pig and he's always hungry. So he's been really good. So that's all I got. Anything else? Any other questions that I didn't? I'm trying to talk and read the questions at the same time. So there will be no movement on puppies in the near term. The only thing I can think of is because if something were to happen with Larky, having another dog wouldn't be the end of the world, but it needs to be seamlessly integrated into this farm, and a puppy is just that's not going to happen. If we did do the dog from Germany and it would come over here in 6 months, then that would be, Carlene would have to pay for that because that would be very expensive. Can't imagine how much that's going to cost. But if that is, if that's an option, then Carlene would pay for it. Yes, I'm scrolling back through looking at questions. Yes, Megan is a really good trainer. I have to say that she's good with dogs, and so is Bella. Because I don't want to always give credit to my mother but she did have some really good theories on training dogs for mobility service, and Megan and Bella have kept a lot of her training mechanisms as well. So just scrolling back here, I think we're good. I think I've covered all the questions on Sally, on questions on Percy. I'm going to scroll and see if I missed any other. Let's see. Take a look at Goldy's chat. Terrahale is a putting, and I don't know what that is. Lights by the Goats. How's Bella doing? Bella's good. She's been out. From. I don't know. She didn't. She's had some health issues. But I think she's doing okay. I texted her the other day just to kind of confirm what she's been up to. And we have August 2nd, we have our big testing for the dogs. So I'm still on board to do that. I know I got to catch up with some emails on that today. It's just really busy. This is like a full-time job. I'm supposed to be retired. But so is it posting many of the pictures of Sizzle? Oh, yes, Sizzle, she was a fantastic dog. She's going to be missed. Very quiet downstairs, and I know that Larky is misses her, but he has a good time with Mandy, and Mandy today. Justin didn't go because I had a volunteer, again trying to keep the cost down, so I just went with because I'm free, and the volunteer today, she's great. She's a really good, cheerful college student. She's been around for quite a while, so she was great today. So Justin had the day off today, and Mandy was so good today. I was able to take her off leash inside the nursing home with baby chickens and and the rabbit, and nothing got eaten. Again, Channel 4 News. I would not have taken her off leash if I knew if I had any inclination that she wanted to go after the rabbit or the baby. She was a little curious of the baby chickens, but she was good. I got a picture of close where she was just kind of sniffing the baby chicken, not looking like she was going to eat the baby chicken. So, but that's trust in a dog, and I would not have done that if I didn't have trust in the dog. And she's been around the rabbits before, but she did, she didn't look like she wanted to kill the rabbit either, so that was good. But I don't like to have leashes on dogs in nursing homes, especially after Tuesday, because sometimes people grab leashes and things like that. So I like to have them kind of free roaming so that they can walk over. And she knows the job well enough that she walks over to people and she introduces herself and she cuddles right up to them for scratches. So she's good. Larky does the same thing. Sizzle did the same thing. Wanda, she's untrainable, but she loves people, so she's on her own. Somebody said, have you considered a festival at Goldy's? I thought about that. There was a big, I know we're over the time too, but I did want to mention there was a service dog project party that happened over the weekend. Judy went. Judy was invited. I was not invited. Carlene was not invited, but all of the long-term the oldies and goodies from all the volunteers from way back from 2005 till 2020 before COVID. They all got together for at a VFW. There was looked like 20 of them, maybe 30, got together and reminisced. Judy went. She said she had a great time. It was kind of agreed upon. They weren't going to talk about the new administration of of Service Dog Project. They weren't going to talk about the lawsuits or any of the animosity, but they just were going to get together and share some of the fun stories. And it's really so sad because Service Dog Project from way back when was really big, fantastic organization. I know that many of you already know that because you've seen it over time. And so I did have a conversation with Judy of maybe having a open house for all of the people that wanted to come by and see Goldy's farm. This end of September, we talked about having not necessarily a dog fest or a Goldy's Farm Fest, but just a festival, kind of not even a festival, just an open house for all of you guys to come out and visit Goldy's Farm, because as many of you know, that had a complete renovations and it's done. I mean, it looks great here. The only thing that's left is painting a few fences and putting up a couple gates. And it looks really, really, really nice. And that would be a fun thing to do. So stay tuned for that. And stay tuned for more on the wine tasting that's coming up. So maybe so we're thinking about end of September and would love input on that as well. Okay, when will I go to Aiken? And who will, okay, so I'm probably going to Aiken middle of November, depending, and my plan is to be doing a lot more going back and forth because I've got people down in Aiken that can help my tenants down there. His name is David. He's kind of doing the same thing. He gets discounted rent for helping with my animals when I need to come back and forth. So, and taking care of the animals will be, I'm trying to keep the costs down. So, trying to figure that out right now. And, we've got camper kid Isaiah and Justin. I got a lot of pushback, even though, of Nick and Elizabeth, they've got Meredith to take care of. So I don't know whether they'd want to take on taking care of the animals down here in the winter. People felt like I'd push them, but they were compensated for their work feeding. So we'll see. I haven't figured that out, but I know that there's a lot of people around here that are able to feed, and I'm taking down a trailer load of animals. So the big horses, which are, there'll be less animals to take care of. So we'll have to figure that piece out. And of course, Elizabeth and Nick are, they're fine. I just don't want to, it was a lot of work because there was a lot of snow and a lot of ice. And so it was a lot of work last winter. But this winter, hopefully, it will be winter. We will have snow and ice, but hopefully I've gotten the barn at a better place where I've got a plan so that we can have the herd all out together, one big bucket of water. It'll be easier. So we'll see. But it's still going to snow, and that means still lots of shoveling. But last winter was a really hard winter. Nothing I can do about that. And I do plan to go back and forth a lot more than I have in the past. So, okay. I don't know how the chicken breaks are going. Hopefully well, because we're getting to the end of the month. So please go out there and buy your chicken breaks because, we're still moving forward. We're still achieving our mission based on what Linda/Cloud has put out in our numbers. We are well over 4,000 halfway point through the year, which is going to make us over 8,000 by the end of the year. So Goldy's Farm is charging on with all that we do, and got to keep the funds coming in so that we can keep up what we're doing. 75 brooks have been bought from the total of 5. Oh, so we're at 14%. So please, everyone, go out and buy bricks. I know that we have a lot going on in this country, but we're one good thing that's bringing a lot of joy to nursing homes. So go out, please, and buy your bricks, and we'll charge forward. Paint Justin's building. It is. We painted it. Yes, it is. It's white. It's off-white. Elizabeth actually picked out the color. It's a lovely color. We're not going to, that's going to stay the off-white and with the accents of the slate accents. It was designed by Elizabeth. I think she did a great job. So we're not going to be painting that, but okay. All right. So I will see you guys all next week, and enjoy. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of the week. All right. Bye, everyone.